Should teachers be allowed to have access to guns? This is a very controversial topic, but I think it needs to be said that teachers should be allowed to have access to guns in school because school shootings happen almost every day in America, causing innocent children and teachers to die. But what if there was a way that we could prevent schools from having shooters enter the classroom? Arming staff members would increase the safety of students at school. So many people say that guns are dangerous and shouldn't be allowed on school grounds, but allowing teachers to carry guns will make the classroom feel safer and reduce the number of injuries and deaths during a school shooting and would be a deterrent to anyone trying to shoot or harm a school. Community members and parents need to think of the future generations and do what they can to protect their students in school. With allowing teachers to have guns in school, it would make the campus so much safer. Teachers can protect their students from the shooters. If shooters try to enter a classroom full of kids, their teacher can pull out a gun, get ready, and aim and fire if needed. That's probably the last resort to kill somebody, but if a shooter is trying to kill your students, then a teacher should be ready to do whatever it takes to protect her kids. So Mervosh says she positioned a bookcase by the doorway in case she needed a barricade. In an orange bucket, she kept district-issued emergency supplies, wasp spray to aim at an attacker, and a tube sock to hold a heavy object and hurl at an assailant. But after 19 children and 2 teachers were killed in Uvalde, Texas, she felt a growing desperation. Her school is in an older building with no automatic locks on classroom doors and no police officers on campus. We feel helpless, she said. It's not enough. Mandy decided she needed something far more powerful, a 9mm pistol. School shootings have become so out of hand. It's time for schools to take a stand. When a shooter arrives at the classroom, it's too late to call and wait for 911. So with allowing teachers to have guns, they have easy access to a weapon, which could potentially scare or hurt the intruder. It's crazy how many teachers, they call 911 when a shooter comes, and it takes so long for 911 to get there. Like, hundreds of students and teachers are killed, and it's really sad to hear about. So Alan Jay says proponents hope armed teachers will reduce the frequency and deadliness of school shootings, which have become recurrent in the United States. The bill's opponents, including teachers' unions and the state's main police officer union, says it will only make schools more dangerous for children. Now, Ohio is set to enact a law that allows teachers and other staff to be armed with guns in schools once they have completed up to 24 hours of initial training, Alan Jay says. So it's very important to include that staff members must complete training before being allowed to have access to a gun on school grounds. Not only will this help staff gain knowledge, but it will also help parents feel safer knowing that their child's teacher is experienced with a gun. I know personally that I wouldn't want to send my student or my kid to school to a teacher that has a gun unless he or she has experience with the gun, has knowledge, and has a lot of training with the gun, because like it said, guns can be very, very dangerous, and it's important that we have the right knowledge and skills before we even use a handgun. Permitting teachers to have guns will allow parents to feel safer sending their children to school. Like I said, if I had a kid and send my child to school with my teacher having a gun, I would feel safe if the teacher had a lot of knowledge and experience. So Leslie University says armed teachers will, with knowledge, is this current atmosphere added to the already long list of teachers must know is what to do in case an active shooter. Having a protocol in place is empowering, but that's not where it ends. Recent studies show that building strong relationships and created child-centered environments not only positively impacts student achievement, but also improves classroom culture. Mervosh says, we trust them with our kids every day, said Jim Irvin, an airplane pilot and a longtime advocate for gun rights who's president of the Buckeye Firearms Foundation and volunteers as director with FASTER. Building relationships is key when you are a teacher. Building relationships with students and parents is a great way to get to know who you're dealing with, and you'll get to tell families about yourself and gain trust. When having a gun in classroom, parents need to know that their child is safe with an adult that has plenty of gun knowledge and hours of training. Like I said, parents always want to send their kids to a school that is safe and protected. Families never want to get the call that their child had been shot and injured or even killed. So allowing teachers to have a gun will prevent shooters from coming to school campuses, which will make parents feel safer sending their child to school. Teachers will be experienced with using a gun because they will have training before receiving the gun. Like I said, the teacher needs training before having the gun. Armed educators would be better equipped to respond effectively and quickly to active shooter situations, potentially saving lives. In training, teachers will learn all the safety laws, everything they need to shoot a gun. So Alan J. says, under the law, school districts would have to notify parents if they decide to let armed teachers on school premises. It is not immediately clear how many school districts would choose to allow teachers to be armed. So, once laws are enforced, parents would be notified. I think that is a very important topic to talk about, that once your teacher has a gun, emails get sent out to the teachers. It's great for administration to send out a warning that their district would be allowed to carry firearms, and they would explain how teachers had hours of training and are planned to shoot a gun effectively and safely if a shooter does come. So, allowing teachers to have guns will reduce the number of injuries and deaths during a school shooting. Teachers don't have to wait for police to arrive, like I said. So, protecting students should be a school district's #1 rule. Allowing teachers to have a firearm will amp up the security level and help reduce mass shootings, which reduces deaths and injuries to innocent kids and even students. Some may express concerns about the potential for accidents, violence, and even mental health decrease. Having a gun is supposed to protect students and prevent students and staff from being killed. So I think it's really, really important that we need to stop school shootings. School shootings happen so often around the world. School administrators and staff need to take a stand and allow firearms to be carried in school. Innocent kids and children are killed every day due to intruders coming into schools, and it's really, really sad. I hate seeing on the news kids being killed, teachers being killed. So, despite multiple concerns raised by opponents, implementing training programs would help parents and students trust their teachers with a firearm in the classroom. In some scenarios, areas with limited law enforcement resources would benefit from teachers carrying firearms because it can provide an additional layer of protection against potential threats. Community members, teachers, and school districts need to think of future generations. So don't let kids die from mass shootings when we can prevent them by allowing teachers to carry firearms. Thank you.